Hello everybody, I'm Logan Crawford and this is the award-winning TV talk show right here on Eberle Fresh Outlook. They are off and running, a pack of stallions and even some geldings thrown into the mix. Who is which is up to you to decide. No, I'm not talking about the Belmont Stakes. I'm talking about the U.S. presidential race. Over the last week or so, more candidates have announced that they too would like to finish in the winner's circle. Among them, Rick Perry, the former governor of Texas, a Republican, and Martin O'Malley, the former governor of Maryland. I am joined by the Fresh Outlook think tank, Jeanette Hoffman, a Republican strategist, Dr. Bart Rossi, a political psychologist, Dr. Jackie Guzda, a media professor at Western Connecticut State University. And joining us live via Skype is Rich Rubino, political commentator, author, and blogger. And Rich, I'm going to begin with you on Skype. What's the headline from all of these Republican candidates who seem to be running? It almost seems like a lot of guys stuffed into a clown car to me at this point.
I think the story here is that essentially there is no clear front runner, and as a result of that, everybody and anybody who has ever thought about running for president, people like George Pataki, who perhaps have thought about it in the past, or even Jim Gilmore, the former governor of Virginia, who certainly ran in 2008 and never really got anywhere. Everyone basically says there's no front runner, so it's wide open. It's just like the Democrats in 1976, for example, when 1975-76 there was no clear front runner, and as a result you had former Georgia Governor Jimmy Carter, who in a 1974 poll did not even show up out of the 35 potential candidates, and somehow was able to just work voraciously in Iowa and New Hampshire, and ended up winning the nomination. So I think a lot of Republicans see this as a similitude between these two elections.
Dr. Rossi, it seems that clown car analogy seemed to ring true to you. Are there any winning personalities among this group of Republicans?
Well, there's one. There is one person who has presented a winning personality, and that would be Huckabee, of course. He finished a close second in 2008, and he did that by coming from nowhere with the personality that does resonate. He's a character. He's a show, and actually he had his own show.
Exactly, strumming the guitar and all.
But I think he's personable. He comes across as a well-experienced preacher, which he has been, a governor. So he has a lot of credibility, and I think if he plays his cards right, he could be the winner of this, even though I know some people aren't going to agree with that. I think he is the only person who could really present a great winning personality. The others look like they're a bunch of clowns in a car. They do, and they're not stepping up.
Jackie, when I think of the debates that are going to take place with these 10 men all lined up in similar suits, drinking their water, smugly making comments to each other, trying not to engage too much because they know they're really not in it to win it, I think that the public views these people as people who shouldn't be taken seriously.
Exactly. The public is cynical right now. Nobody takes them seriously, and you know what's going to happen is that the person who has the most money is the person who's going to win that nomination. Traditionally, historically, that's what's happened in our country. And because you've got people who are polling just about the same overall, no one has a clear, vibrant personality. I disagree with you. I see Huckabee as kind of a clown, but that's my take. Yeah. Look, it's going to come down to the money. It's going to be one millionaire who's going to throw their strength against a Rubio, against Jeb Bush, who I think will get it, and they're going to take it.
Okay, so Jeb Bush is the guy with all the money. He seems to be the person with most credibility as well, and he seems to be distancing himself from the pack, Jeanette, by going to Europe next week, as a matter of fact.
Right, I think Jeb Bush is kind of coming across as the grown-up in the room, right? You have a number, and Scott Walker to some extent, you have a number of top-tier candidates, I would say, people we've expected to announce their campaign for a long time now, and then you have the kind of why not me candidates. Like, everyone else is running, so why not me? And from all indications, it looks like it's anybody's game if you dice that all up. And it looks like it's going to be a Republican year after 2 terms of Barack Obama. Hillary Clinton is not a strong candidate. So it looks like more Republicans are jumping into the race because they think the bigger the field, the better their chance.
Okay, let's put that to Rich Rubino. I kind of agree with you that Hillary is not a strong candidate with all of the scandals that are mounting. I know Dr. Bart disagrees and Jackie disagrees. We'll let them talk to that as well. But, I mean, it's scandal upon scandal every week. She hasn't addressed it. Martin O'Malley looked pretty good last weekend when he made his announcement speech. What's your take on who will wind up being the Democratic nominee, Rich?
You know, you're right. You're right, Martin. He did look pretty good, but it's very hard for me to envisage a scenario where he actually garners the nomination. I'm thinking right now of Bernie Sanders, and Bernie Sanders, in many respects, has taken a lot of the wind out of Martin O'Malley's sails. If you're a little bit left of Hillary Clinton, the question I guess is for you is why would you support Martin O'Malley versus Bernie Sanders? Bernie Sanders right now, he's galvanizing. He has all the energy, particularly among young people, among kind of the Eugene McCarthy, kind of George McGovern intellectual wing of the party. I don't quite see what Martin O'Malley has that Bernie, or for that matter, that Lincoln Chafee has, that why those people who would potentially support him would not necessarily go towards Bernie Sanders. In terms of Hillary Clinton, yes, well, she has one thing that's very strong, actually two things. One of them is she has a lot of money. And the other thing is, I think that this election in many respects is going to be a referendum on President Obama as much as it was a referendum on George W. Bush in 2008. In 2008, John McCain, I think, won every state where George W. Bush's job approval rating was over 35%. So my prediction is that if Obama's job approval rating is over 50% by election day in November, Hillary wins. If it's not, then I think Hillary loses. But it's very hard for me to envisage a scenario. I think she's going to be scared by Bernie Sanders, particularly in Iowa and New Hampshire, but it's very hard that Hillary Clinton will not win. She's kind of like the Hubert Humphrey of this race in many respects, the establishment candidate, but she has so much, she's almost immutable, but there is that kind of Bernie Sanders insurrectionist wing of the party, which is going to be really interesting to watch.
Dr. Bard, I don't see Bernie Sanders as a credible candidate. He wrote an objectionable essay back in '72. I know it was a long time ago, before many of our viewers were born, but it seemed to advocate violence against women. That's one of his bad marks. And the second thing, he doesn't look credible. Martin O'Malley is tall and handsome. He sounds and looks like a president. Ooh. That's part of it.
I think that's a good point. I think Bernie Sanders comes across as being kind of an oddball. Very dynamic, though, and very clever in his TV interviewing. I think he comes across quite well in terms of pushing progressive ideas. He's hard to disagree with sometimes because he comes across so well. But I think that the point made about polling is interesting, too, because Obama's polls are close to 50. They're 47, 48, depending on what poll. That's very high, and it's very high compared to any Republican. So I do like the point about a referendum on Obama to a certain extent. Obamacare is looking better. A lot of things are going well. And I think if the economy does go well, Hillary will win, not only because of that, because she does have a winning personality and she will win the election. She's not going to get it because she's a Clinton. She's going to go out, she's going to present herself, and I will predict, unless somebody shows up from the GOP that looks good, I predict that she's going to do very well in the debates and going forward.
All right. Jeanette, I'm going to get to you, Jackie, after this. But Jeanette, the doctor said that Hillary has a winning personality. Yeah. Now, I feel like George Benson, was it, who said I knew a winning personality. I was friends with people with a winning personality. She doesn't seem to have a winning personality to me, but I'm politically opposed to her.
Yeah.
But I've interviewed her as well. She's like, I think Darth Vader when you talk to her.
I would respectfully disagree that I do not think she has a winning personality, and I don't think American voters believe she has a winning personality. If you look at the latest polls, her poll numbers are the lowest at the lowest level since in 14 years. Her negatives are through the roof. She only has a low 40% approval rating, and that's before we're even into the heart of the Republican primary, where we're going to have 16 Republican candidates beating on her, and Martin O'Malley and Bernie Sanders and Lincoln Chafee really taking shots at her. So I don't think she's looking good right now. If I were a Democrat, I would be very concerned to have Hillary Clinton as my nominee for president in 2016.
Jackie, I know you're on Dr. Bard's side when it comes to this, correct?
I don't want to take sides, but I would like to disrespectfully disagree.
Disrespectfully?
As far as her numbers go, she was way up here. She has just dipped slightly below in the high 40s when it comes to trustability, winning personality, etc. And I would like to point out to all of us, this is not a beauty contest. This is the highest position.
But it always is.
Right. In the United
it always is. I mean, we might
States.
like to say it should be the smartest person in the room, but if that was the case, Barack Obama wouldn't be president.
Barack Obama is president because he was the smartest person.
Right, he was.
I agree. Charisma does play a factor.
No, you're talking
and
to
he's also good looking and cool.
I think he's hot.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't think he's hot, but
but he's also beyond likability. I like the point here that's made that it's not a beauty contest. That's true, and it's not about whether you just like somebody. It's about connecting with the voter.
Right.
And that requires a winning personality. I don't see these people in the GOP having a winner.
I don't
and
either.
I think comparatively speaking, Hillary looks very good.
What about Rick Perry?
Oh.
Rick Perry, no? Well, you know what I liked about Rick Perry? One, he comes from a huge state, a Republican state. He did wonderful things for Texas, as far as I'm concerned. And I feel that if he could get his 3 facts in a row, he'd be ready to run for president. Oops.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
He's polling pretty low right now in that group of 16. So we'll have to see. What's going to be interesting to see is what happens with the presidential debates, right? Big network debates are only allowing 10 candidates up on stage. And I think there's probably going to be about 16 running in 2016.
And it's going to be George Stephanopoulos, Brian Williams, and Pinocchio asking questions, right?
No, see, this is what I want to happen in the debates. I want there to be a conversation about the issues, not people saying clever things or funny things and winning with their personality that way.
There you go again. Let's turn to Rich Rubino, to borrow from Reagan. Rich Rubino, what do you think about Hillary Clinton? Do you agree with Dr. Bart that she connects with voters and that she is inevitable?
I wouldn't say inevitable, because I do think that there's going to be a surge for Bernie Sanders, which is going to scare her. Not that she's going to win. I don't think she's inevitable at all. But in terms of Hillary Clinton, I think that her personality does a lot better, I think, in person, in many respects, one-on-one, than it does in terms of his speech. She's in many respects the exact opposite of her husband, Bill Clinton. When he can really walk into a room, everyone surrounds him. I don't really see that with Hillary. But I'll tell you one thing, if the smartest person were ever to win the presidency, it would have been someone like Dick Lugar or Wesley Clark. They're obviously sometimes they're not the most charismatic candidates. And in terms of George Pataki and Rick Perry, you could potentially have a scenario this election where you have the governor of New York and governor of Texas, the second and third biggest state respectively in the country, not being in a debate, whereas you might have someone like Ben Carson, who's never run for political office in his life, in that debate. You may have Rand Paul, who just got elected to the United States Senate last time, Ted Cruz, who's just been elected to the United States Senate, and Marco Rubio, all three-term senators. But imagine not having Rick Perry and George Pataki in that debate. Would be very, very interesting.
And it might serve them well in the long run. Jackie, what do you see as the front runner for the Republicans? I know you're not politically oriented towards the Republican side, but out of all of those people, do you see one that could be a potential challenger?
Logan, I'd have to have a really good crystal ball in order to answer your question accurately. But taking a shot at it, probably Jeb Bush.
Jeb Bush. Okay. Well, Jeb Bush is the established candidate, and it would be another Bush-Clinton runoff. What do you think that would mean to the general public, who has a choice, again, between a Bush and a Clinton?
I don't think they'd like it. I think that's a problem for everybody. But I think with Jeb Bush, the problem he has is that he's fighting against his brother to a great extent. And he has money. He reminds me of Romney in 2008. You talk about money, Jackie. Well, Romney had the money, and he finished a lousy third behind Huckabee and, of course, McCain. So he had the money, he had the connections, but it didn't work. And in 2012, I was told by all of these Fox people that I was wrong. I was wrong because Obama did not have a winning personality, and that we knew that Romney was going to get 300 and some electoral votes. Well, he didn't.
Right.
He lost by over 5 million votes.
Well, I absolutely think Obama has a winning personality, whether you like his politics or not.
I agree.
Out of Romney or Obama, you'd rather have a beer with Obama. And that, I think, is the litmus test. Jeb Bush, do we have to slap him around, wake him up? He just seems like he's like on Prozac or something.
He's
like
what he is,
the chubby,
Logan.
boring guy in the room who's got so much money it doesn't matter.
No, I don't
He
think
doesn't
that's
have
the
any fight.
case. I think, look, it's so early right now. I don't think there's anything for him to be gained by coming out swinging right now. I think, look, there's going to be a lot of things that happen between now and New Hampshire, and you're going to see Jeb Bush on the campaign trail in New Hampshire and Iowa and South Carolina. And I think he's got a fantastic base of support. He is definitely the candidate who's going to raise the most money in this race. So we'll see. But I think it's going to be interesting to see how Marco Rubio plays out. Scott Walker, these are top tier candidates. But it's so early, you almost don't want to be the front runner at this point, because that's when everybody starts to take shots at you.
Talking about being in the Belmont Stakes, absolutely.
I agree. Those are all really good points. We're going to see how it plays out. You're right.
Yeah. And as far as Scott Walker not having a college degree, Jackie, do you think a man can be elected or a woman elected president in 2015 without a college degree?
Well, look, there's a lot of people who don't have college degrees who vote. and nobody votes anyway. That's the problem. So who's going to win? I hate to agree with you all, but it is going to be the guy or the woman that people find more personable and stands for their values.
Yeah, see, I see the issues being very interesting in this election because it's the person who wraps their personality around the issues and then shines is going to be the winner.
And the others are going to be talk show hosts. When we come back, more mudslinging and political dirty tricks. They're not just the domain of the United States of America. A look at Turkey and the battle for freedom of the press.